Yo, what is up internet? Digrex here, and today I'm coming at you with a brand new video. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at Dauntless, basically a Monster Hunter clone. I don't want to call it that. I don't really like calling any games clones of one another. Like, I don't like calling Paladins an Overwatch clone or whatever. Unfortunately, that is just the best way to describe this game. It is a game very, very similar to Monster Hunter. So, if you know Monster Hunter, then you basically know the gameplay loop of this game. It involves killing monsters to upgrade your weapons and armor. Of course, it has co-op gameplay, co-op mechanics, and each monster has different fight mechanics that you and your teammates need to figure out. There are tough monsters, there are some pretty easy beginning monsters, but basically you move through the monsters, you grind through the monsters to get the materials that you need to craft better and better armor that can give you different stats, whether it's electricity resistance, frost resistance, so you can fight monsters better. And overall, you're just leveling up your hunter. And if you guys didn't know, Dauntless is on the Epic Store and it is free to play. So generally, free to play is a pretty good sign, because if you wanted to try out the game, you can obviously do it for free. No harm to you, no cheap things, like you don't have to worry about not getting a refund or whatever if you just want to try a game. So that's the advantage to this. However, the disadvantage is that it's on the Epic Games Store, and we all know that free Epic games aren't always the best. So after Epic Games launched Fortnite, and Fortnite Battle Royale, and the Battle Royale was a super success, they have launched a few different games since then, Dauntless being one of them, and generally they are pretty rushed, it feels like, and not totally the best. It kind of just feels like a cash grab most of the time, and I'd say Dauntless is very similar to that. Although a lot of the boss mechanics are pretty good, a lot of the gear upgrading is really good, the game is riddled with stuff like microtransactions. So, similar to Fortnite, Dauntless has its own battle pass system, which obviously comes with different cosmetics, such as emote skins. It's pretty much exactly the same battle pass from Fortnite, and of course, Dauntless has different seasons, so Epic is really ripping the exact same systems out of Fortnite and putting it in this game. And one more thing while I'm talking about Fortnite, this graphic style is very, very similar to Fortnite, it looks like, even with the health bars on the left. It seems like a lot of stuff is kind of not reskinned, and it doesn't seem like assets are copy and pasted, but it's definitely very similar, and you might like this graphic style, you might not like it. It's kind of cartoony, not very realistic, which I think is fine for a game like this. I personally kind of like the graphics, but it's really personal opinion. I've seen a lot of people talking about how they hate it. Personally, I don't mind it or even enjoy these kind of graphics. So, a few things I will mention. The game is riddled with microtransactions, unfortunately, so when you have a loot game like this that is riddled with microtransactions, where it is not possible to obtain some items without paying money in a loot-based game, that is not good, because you want those items that you can only pay money for, you want them to be drops from monsters or whatever, right? So that totally destroys part of the loot pool, which is very, very unfortunate. So, yeah, there's a lot of microtransactions, pretty much kind of pay to win, not exactly. They're kind of loot box type things that you can get upgrades for your armor and such like that, so it's not even fully cosmetic, honestly. There is some competitive advantage to the microtransactions. On top of that, there's some pretty bad UI in this game. It's not in the gameplay, because I'm not going to show you gameplay of the menus, but the menus are pretty hard to navigate, just very clunky and stupid. Simple features like blocking a character or cancel matchmaking don't exist. You literally cannot cancel matchmaking. You can't block players if they're being annoying either. I was so confused when I was playing this because you can't cancel matchmaking. I literally thought I was going crazy. I thought I was missing something. I got stuck in matchmaking, and the servers of this game are pretty damn shit because Epic, like I said earlier, this is kind of a cash grab Epic game. So, unfortunately, the servers are pretty shit, and it could not find me a group to matchmake with, and I was stuck in matchmaking. I literally could not cancel my matchmaking, which was very, very frustrating. Of course, it's Epic Games exclusive, which is pretty rough. The servers, like I just mentioned, are pretty poor. A lot of times, it could even kick you out. Your matchmaking will take a long time, or you will have trouble logging in at all. The game crashes. Still has crashing issues to this day. Alt F4 is going to become your best friend if you play this game. Some more cons include the social hub being very annoying, which every corner you turn while you're in the social hub is trying to sell you microtransactions. Unfortunately, there's just a lot of push for microtransactions in this game, and to the point where it really gets in your face and becomes distracting from the actual gameplay experience, which is extremely frustrating. The movement and controls in this game are fairly clunky. It's kind of weird how they set up your keybinds for you. Buttons like F are jump instead of spacebar, which is really weird, and you'll find a few different things like that throughout the game. So guys, those are all my cons. Getting to the pros of the game, it is free, obviously, so if you want a kind of Monster World experience, you can get it here. New content is being added, so the game is like staying somewhat relevant. They are having updates, which is actually pretty good. It's not, I guess, a total cash grab, so they are having new seasonal cosmetic updates for their battle pass, obviously, so they can get more money, but they are adding new monsters and such like that. There is some decent weapon variety in combat styles. A lot of the weapons have their own unique combos and combat styles, but that's exactly like Monster Hunter World, and I'd say the weapons in Monster Hunter World have more variety and more complex systems than the ones do in this game, unfortunately. And there is incoming cross-platform play between PS4, Xbox, and PC, which is always welcomed, uniting the gaming community, especially in a game like this where players aren't playing against each other but working for a greater common good to slay a monster. It's always good to have cross-platform play. Keeps the player base large, keeps the game relevant throughout all players no matter what console they play on, so that's good. But overall, I'd say this experience is extremely lackluster. It feels like an empty version of Monster Hunter. The world does not feel nearly as lively. All the systems are much less complex. Unfortunately, microtransactions are at every turn. The hub sucks. And yeah, guys, honestly, I wouldn't even really bother with this one. This kind of just seems like something people from Fortnite would see in the Epic Store and be like, wow, I can get a Fortnite version of Monster Hunter. And I hate to hate on games because I really don't do it often. I really praise all the games on my channel. This is really one of the first games that I wouldn't really recommend playing. All the other games on my channel I've ever posted, I recommend people play. Even some games where it's iffy, like Warframe, stuff like that. But this game is the first that I would not recommend playing. I would recommend buying Monster Hunter World, especially since Monster Hunter World looks great on PC, so you don't have to worry about graphic style at all. Of course, it's got that new Iceborne DLC coming, I believe it's called, so there's tons of content in Monster Hunter World already. They've already added a bunch of stuff. They've already got so much stuff that's better than this game. And honestly, if you want a Monster Hunter-esque game, go for Monster Hunter World, especially if you own a PC that can run it nicely. That shit looks beautiful. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please let me know if you disagree in the comments below. I always like to hear other people's civilized feedback. Yeah, so please subscribe for more Void Bastards, Destiny, and any other games I might be playing or streaming on the channel. It's been Digirex. Peace.